Right now, I've got to tell you about the most groovy TEKS. TEKS are the Texas Education Knowledge and Skills. Welcome to Mr. Goetz's Flipped Classroom. This is another in a continuing series of talks that I'm doing. And mobile app development, there's actually standards for it to create effective user interfaces, to create mobile application components, create browser-based applications, create native applications, and these can be Googled, mad.1.a, followed by TEKS, T-E-K-S. There's also TEKS for digital design and media production. Some of these here are about collaboration and communication, good skills, research. Digital citizenship could be its own 7-minute video. 3D modeling and animation. So some of the steps to doing this: evaluate, edit, and create scripts for animation, color theory, texture, transparency, skinning, rules of composition, analyze 3D objects. If you don't know what any of these things are, these are categories for pursuing and understanding what these things are. So a student identifies harmony, tints, shades, gradients, color mixing, specific color combinations using a digital format. So color swatches. Years ago, I used to use something called colorschemer.com. Apply texture and transparency and contour along a 3D object. Rule of thirds, golden section, rectangle with respect to harmony and balance. Angles, lighting, repetition, proximity, conflicts that occur through the use of typography. So what fonts and text are you using? And once again, having self-directed and collaborative activities within the global community. Students expected to participate in electronic communities. So in the digital video world, what I use is DVX user, and then I use DVinfo. DVinfo is a real names forum where you have to use your real name. DVX user is a site where you can make up a pseudonym. So you can be TV guy or TV gal 27 or whatever you want to have. So you want to be observant of what the rules are of the forum and how old you need to be, the minimum age requirement to be on that forum, and it's always good to talk to a parent or guardian or to talk to myself, Mr. Goetz. Distinguish between RGB, CYMK. So CYMK is cyan, yellow, magenta. The K stands for black, typically print graphics, and then RGB is going to be graphics that are used electronically on a screen. Research the history of 3D modeling and 3D animation. There are ways that you can be doing this for class credit, because this is one of the TEKS that we have the option to dig deep into. The TEKS have to be covered, but we can pick and choose which ones we cover and how much time we spend on them. 3D objects, digital imaging, video integration, sound retrieved from an electronic format. So in animation, we need to have audio with it lots of times. Sketches, storyboards, brainstorming. How do we do our pre-production before we do our production? What are the steps of production? Critical thinking, X, Y, Z. So X is typically left and right, as we know from math. Y is typically up and down. Z is forward and back. 3D modeling, extrusion, rotation, rendering with dynamics, and the physics of how something moves. So if something is moving in a squash and stretch, or if something is easing in, we want things to move naturally according to the laws of physics. Appropriate rendering techniques, a variety of lighting techniques, shadows. Read, use, develop technical documentation. And even maybe to create some content to teach people how to use different things. Like this is technically technical documentation on how to use the TEKS in an animation or video production class. Now this one I had to work on a little bit. The student is expected to play board games to research and collect gameplay data. So the next time you're playing Uno or cards with permission in the classroom, and you have your work done, you might like to remember this TEK, GPD.3.A. The next time students are playing Uno in a class, play the TEKS card. That's your TEKS card. So that is the golden nugget right there, and these are the steps of it. That's the original image. This is once I added word swag to put that in, and then I processed it in another program right here. So you've been watching Mr. Goetz's Flipped Classroom, and if you have any questions, please reach out and ask. Thank you.